Good morning, children. So in the previous class we have learned in chemical reactions and equations. In this chapter we have learned about the balancing of chemical equations, what are the steps involved in balancing chemical equations, etc. we have learned. And in today's class we will learn how to make the chemical equations more informative. To make the chemical equation more informative, we have to provide certain more information. That means we have to express the following characteristics for any chemical equation. So we all know that in a chemical equation there will be reactants and products. The reactants will be always written towards the left hand side and product will be written, the formula of the product will be written towards the right hand side. And by seeing this chemical equation we cannot identify what is the physical state of that reactant. For example, here ferric oxide is reacting with the aluminium. So what is the physical state, whether it is existing in the solid state or liquid state or gaseous state. So that physical state can be represented with the help of like this, these letters. Fe2O3 is existing in the solid state. So we have to write the formula and again we have to represent its physical state also by keeping S in the bracket. S in the bracket indicates the solid form of Fe2O3. This Fe2O3 iron oxide exists in the solid state. Similarly, here aluminium exists in the solid state. Al2O3, aluminium oxide also exists in the solid state. Like this, we have to express the physical state. For example, if any substance is existing in the liquid state, we have to represent it with the L in the bracket. L in the bracket here, like this. L in the bracket. If it is in the solid state, then S in the bracket. If the substance is in the whether reactant or product is existing in the gaseous state, then we have to represent it with G, small g inside the brackets. And if the substance is in the aqueous solution form, then we have to indicate with the AQ inside the bracket. Just I have expressed here like this. AgNO3. In this reaction you can see AQ. AgNO3 AQ means it indicates aqueous silver nitrate solution. Here NaCl AQ indicates aqueous sodium chloride solution, like that. Aqueous solution state can also be represented like this. So this is the expressing the physical state. What is the physical state of the substance in reactant side and product side? After writing the formula, we have to indicate inside the bracket S, L, G, AQ, like that. And the second one is expressing the heat changes. In some of the reactions, we have learned that in the previous class we have learned some reactions will be exothermic and some reactions will be endothermic. Exothermic reactions are the reactions where the heat energy is liberated. That means heat energy is released outside. So in exothermic reactions always we have to represent heat energy is liberated outside. The liberated heat energy can be represented as like this. Here we have to write the product formula. After writing the product we have to write plus Q. Here Q indicates the heat energy. Q is heat energy. When we are writing plus Q, that indicates exothermic reaction. That means heat energy is released. Along with the product, heat is also released in this reaction. Heat is released. So it is exothermic reaction. Then if it is endothermic reaction, this Q is indicated with minus sign here. Reactants, arrow, product, then after minus Q. Minus Q indicates that this reaction is endothermic reaction. Q is heat energy. Minus Q indicates that heat energy is absorbed during the reaction. When heat energy is absorbed, it is called as endothermic reaction. So in endothermic reactions, we have to represent it like this. We have to write the formula of the product. After the product formula, we have to write it minus Q. Like this, heat energy changes can be expressed. So, and third one is expressing the gases evolved. In some certain reactions, the gases will be evolved during the reaction. That means some gases will be released outside during the chemical reaction. In that case also, we have to represent, first of all, we have to write the total chemical equation as it is with formula of reactants and formula of the products. And if any product, in gaseous product is formed during the reaction, that beside the gaseous product formula, we have to write G or otherwise arrow mark upward. Arrow mark, here I have represented an arrow mark upward direction. Okay. So zinc reaction with H2SO4, zinc reaction with sulfuric acid gives rise to zinc sulfate plus hydrogen gas. Here hydrogen is in gaseous state, so we have to represent it with an arrow mark upward direction. Similarly, expressing the precipitate formed. When during some chemical reactions, there will be some precipitates are formed. Precipitates are insoluble solid, just like curd like forms. So this, when precipitate is formed, then we have to represent beside the product which is precipitate, beside the product formula only, we have to write an arrow mark in the downward direction. Arrow mark in the downward direction indicates that this product is in the solid state. That means the precipitate form. This product is in the precipitate form. So here silver nitrate, aqueous solution of silver nitrate, when reacts with aqueous solution of sodium chloride, it forms a precipitate, a white precipitate of silver chloride. So this is the precipitate here. So I written the arrow mark in the downward direction. Along with that, we also get aqueous solution of sodium nitrate. So it is a double displacement reaction or a double decomposition reaction. Generally in double decomposition reactions, we will get precipitates. So that precipitate will be represented with the downward arrow. Then sometimes in certain reactions, the reaction conditions will be represented either above or below the arrow. So reaction conditions means what are the reaction conditions? Temperature, if any light energy is required or not, temperature, pressure, light, catalyst, etc. These are all the reaction conditions. This will be represented above or below the arrow in the reaction. So see here, silver chloride. Silver chloride in presence of sunlight undergoes decomposition. So when silver chloride undergoes decomposition, it forms silver and chlorine. So in this reaction this reaction takes place in presence of sunlight. So sunlight is required for this reaction. Reaction condition is sunlight is required. So that sunlight is represented upon the arrow mark like this. In this reaction, this is the generally it is a photosynthesis reaction. This is so photosynthesis. When photosynthesis will be taking place, when sunlight is available and when chlorophyll pigment is also available. In that case only this photosynthesis takes place inside the plants. So during the photosynthesis reaction also, here you see 6CO2 plus 6H2O gives rise to C6H12O6 plus 6O2. Plants prepare glucose during the photosynthesis process, and this photosynthesis takes place only in presence of sunlight and chlorophyll. So these are the reaction conditions. These are represented above and below the arrow mark like this. So these are the reaction conditions. So if we write a chemical reaction by following all these things, it will become more and more informative. By looking at the reaction only, we can understand what are the physical states of the reactants and products, and what products are formed in that reaction, whether the reaction is exothermic or endothermic, and if the product is formed, if any gaseous products are there or not, and if any precipitate is formed or not, we can identify by looking at the reaction simply. And we can also understand what are the reaction conditions for that reaction to take place. Like that, if we fulfill these all, if we express these all physical characteristics, then we can make the chemical equation more informative. Okay children, thank you for watching this.